Let's see if this has worked. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Alright, we'll wait for see if people actually join. I know, what else are people doing on Saturday night, honestly? Right, let's see how many people we've got in the lobby. So we have 9 in, so we're still waiting for 2 more people. Okay. I2 is in a truck, is that right? No, they're all meant to be in roadsters. Hello, Viking. Right, welcome everyone who's watching, who I think is just Viking, but never mind, to bit of a unique off-season event that we've got going on. We're kind of halfway through the event. This is the Champions Cup. It's the first time that we're doing the Champions Cup in ALR. It is something that you'll have probably seen the draft for. So basically we have lots of different teams. 6 of them have already qualified for the semi-finals, and this is the night to determine from the rest of the teams who is going to get the final 2 positions. There's going to be 2 teams that qualify tonight. I'm joined by Eroticos tonight, making his comms debut. Do you know who the teams are tonight, Eroticos? Actually, we've got 5 people watching now, so a bit better. Oh, Viking's saying he can't hear you. What do you mean? Like, is it just quiet or you can't hear at all? Okay. You might need to check your settings to make sure that it can be shared on a stream. So it should be under. Let me find it.
Testing, testing, testing.
Yeah, just keep saying that. If you go onto your microphone, actually, no, that's not right. Where do you do it?
Now they can hear, so that's good.
Capture options. Oh, they can hear. Oh, okay, great, okay. Because I didn't know how I was about to explain that. I don't know what I just click buttons until things start working. That's how I sort things out. Okay, cool. So, yeah, do you want to go through the teams again? Because they missed that. And who's driving for them?
Good evening, everyone. So, we've got 4 teams battling it out today. It's Castro, Yokohama, Sparkle, and Haggerty. Or am I missing someone? Oh no, there's 6. So there's Fnatic and Enios.
Yeah.
So, out of these people, it'll be interesting. They're fighting out for their last opportunity to continue out of the group stages, and only 2 teams will go through tonight.
Yeah, only 2, and apparently I've been told that one of the groups, the group that the team that finished second tonight will end up in is much more difficult than the other group in the semi-finals. I think that's something to do with how many Tier 1 drivers there are in that group. So I think everyone's main target tonight is going to be win the group, because that'll give them the best opportunity to actually progress into the final later next week. Who do you think do you fancy to finish at the top tonight out of these guys?
I would have to put my money on Castrol.
Castrol. So Castrol is JMS Play and Kellen, the two Irish lads. Yeah, okay, so Kellen's a Tier 1 driver, and JMS was in Tier 4 this season, but he won races in Tier 4, so yeah, quite a strong lineup tonight.
Yeah, but at least in the stages so far, they've accumulated quite a lot of points. I think Yokohama could be in for a win tonight if they manage to keep it clean and actually finish the race. But for sure, I'm feeling most sad about Ineos because there's only Deco representing them, so just one driver there.
Yeah, so it looks like Ineos are already pretty much out of the equation unless Deco can somehow win both races, and I don't know. Even then, it's probably impossible. What about Sick Boy? What team's he on? He is the team captain, and I think he's got a fast partner as well, but his livery's not loaded, or he just doesn't have one. So I'm not quite sure.
Sick Boy is on Haggerty, and he's joined by Mr. Revenge.
Oh yeah, Mr. Revenge, who isn't actually in the lobby yet. He said he was going to be 5 minutes late. So Mr. Revenge is an interesting one. So he's been playing GT7 for like a month, but he's already insanely quick. So I have absolutely no idea how he's going to go tonight if he manages to join. That's one, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on, because apparently he's been setting some insane time trial times around Spa, I think it was. Or was it in the AMG? I think it was Spa, actually.
Yeah, I think it was Spa as well. There was an impressive time mentioned there. I don't know if we've seen proof of it, but definitely talk about it.
There's one thing I know about people who post the times in ALR. They're either low-balling or high-balling. Like, people are either way too modest and end up blowing everyone away on Mondays, or it's the complete opposite, and they're somehow qualifying 2 seconds slower than what the time trial times were.
I agree with Perry. Time trial doesn't mean nothing in a race. But
that's true.
It's representative for a good qualifying position. So it'll be something.
Just trying to see. Oh, so we got Team Fanatec as well. That's an interesting one. So Zico is potentially the quickest guy in the lobby tonight. So could be on for a win or two. That's what he should be aiming for anyway. And then Juho Finn is the guy who's been racing in GT, well, first at GT Sport in Season 1 of ALR's GT. So he's the most experienced guy on the grid. Could hopefully pull in some extra points as well there. And I've got Deco on his own for Ineos. And then who is Kanata? Kanata's with Sparko. So who's his teammate? Lord Asseldor. That could be a good one as well. Yeah. So yeah, Kanata and Asseldor are both pretty quick. They both race in esports as well. I think Kanata beat Asseldor actually in the last esports race at Nürburgring.
They were actually on the same team, but yes, he finished in front. But it was mostly due to a strategy goal.
Okay. What, like an extra pit stop for Asseldor or something?
Yes, Asseldor opted for an extra stop, so 2 sets of softs, and Kanata did a single one on mediums.
Nice one. That's interesting.
Could have been the other way around, don't trust me.
No, it's difficult. Oh, JMS Plays just had a little adventure off track. And he's got Perry's least favourite thing going on his car. He has the ALR sticker on without his driver number. I'm just gonna keep it like that for Perry. It should be. That's what Perry wants. Perry wants like us to go hard on these people who don't update deliveries sufficiently, but I think that's a bit hard to police. So I think we've gone through every team. Oh, Owen is with Pyro as well, so that's another one that I think should do pretty well. Owen and Pyro, I can't remember what team they're on.
They're on Yokohama,
Yokohama,
and
right?
they were actually doing pretty good until last race. It was pretty close, but Owen didn't finish the race because of too many spins on Nürburgring.
Yeah.
So essentially he abandoned Pyro bit, and this is why they're in last chance right now.
So he has to redeem himself tonight because of that and get them through. You know what? I heard that they were top of their table after the first night as well. So that must be quite a lot of points to lose in the next couple of rounds.
On the first night, actually, the first three teams were separated by 3 points in total.
Oh, wow. Okay,
But
then.
yes, they started on top and they were second place until the last race.
Early tier reveal tomorrow. We are doing the tier reveal actually on Monday. So, no. But what's going to be released tomorrow will be the esports calendar for the new season. So anyone who's doing esports, keep an eye out for that, and you can start getting your practice in. Obviously, we're doing something slightly different this season with 10 teams and one big championship. But we're about to start now, so I think we're going straight into a race, aren't we? Yeah, we are. 18 laps around Tsukuba. Oh, has the lobby reset? Yeah, never mind. I thought we were going, and he just reset the lobby instead. Okay, yeah, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, esports is out tomorrow. We've expanded to 10 teams for next season, which we're really excited about. It should be really good. We're going to have 2 lobbies with one big qualifying, and we've actually got both lobbies on Sundays being commentated. So me and Pyro commentating the lobby A, so the fast lobby, and Vexman, who commentates tier 1 usually on Mondays live. He's going to be doing the live commentary for the 6 rounds of Lobby B as well, so that's going to be really exciting to see. You're going to get 2 contrasting types of commentary, because Vex is very excited and really willing everyone on and doesn't focus on mistakes too much, and me and Pyro are kind of the exact opposite to that.
It will definitely be fun.
It will be good. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, the calendar and tier reveal for Mondays will be on Monday, and then everyone will have to find the teammates and start testing cars and arguing about the car order as well.
So a quick reminder, we're doing a 5-minute qualifying right now, and then
Okay, cool.
they have to use the hard tires for at least 5 laps, and they must start and finish on the softs. So I have no idea what strategies they've come up with, but
Okay. So they have to start and finish on the soft, but they could do like a soft, hard, soft, for example. Or would they have to use mediums as well? They don't have to use all 3.
It's just hards and softs.
Okay.
But they have a mandatory 5 laps on the hards.
I see. Okay.
So strategy will definitely come into play here.
Yeah, it's all going to be about not being in traffic, but this is such a small lap that you really have to time your pit stops right, or else that'll basically ruin your entire race, I imagine.
I think with 11 cars on track, you'll still always be in traffic.
Yeah, me too. It's like, what, a minute lap?
We'll have to see. I opted not to practice this one with the belief that we would make it out.
Brave. Who's on your team?
The one and only Perry,
Of course.
Astro, and HK.
Okay, that's a good team. Astro's in tier 1 and Perry's the tier 2 champion. So, yeah, that makes sense why you guys made it out. Did you win your group?
No, we just managed second place on the last race.
And who was the team that qualified in first?
I'd have to check. I think it was Mobile 1.
Who was on it?
Kep is on it, Kepler OGT.
Yeah. Okay, we got Perry rounding the final corner, about to start the lap. Let's ride on board with him and see how he
Is
tackles
that
this.
Pyro?
That is Pyro, yeah. Sorry, it's you said Perry, and they both start with a P.
Oh no,
Right,
don't blame me, don't
here we
blame me.
go. Yeah, I blame everyone but myself. So a really wide entry and getting a lot of tyre spin on that attempt at turn 1. Pyro going a bit wide, didn't hit any of the apexes. So I'm not expecting this to be one of the quickest laps. He's got Owen just behind him, and he goes off into the gravel a little bit on the exit there. It's a bit of a scruffy one. Really cutting that corner, which I think you're meant to do no matter what car you're in around Tsukuba. And already we've got 2 corners left. We're going on to this, what I guess you could call it a straight.
It looks good so far, but I think Owen's caught up to him a bit.
Yeah, Owen is pretty close behind. So we've got Pyro rounding the final corner. He's having to lift mid-corner, which I don't think he was really wanting to do. And yeah, looks like Owen got the exit that corner really well. So 2 seconds, well actually 1.3 seconds quicker Owen was. But Kellen's actually gone quicker than him, and Zico has slotted into P2 there. Half a second, it was the advantage for Kellen, but Asseldor is again half a second behind him as well. So just a really dominant opening lap there for Kellen. Asseldor half a second back. Then there's Sick Boy, Zico, Owen. Mr. Revenge slotting into P6, and then we got Kanata 7th. Pyro all the way down in 8th, 2 seconds off the pace, but 7/10ths quicker so far. The bad thing is that Owen is going to catch up to him probably at the end of this lap. So with just 5 minutes to go, well, it's a 5-minute qualifying session. We've just got maybe 1 or 2 laps left for all of them. They need to find something basically on this lap, or else they'll only have 1 shot left. Juho 9th and Deco in 10th. But let's follow Kellen, see if he is going even quicker than he was before for Castrol. Looks like he's just down so far on this lap by half a tenth. Now that's extended to a 10th. Pyro improves to P6. No one else who's crossing the start finish line apart from Zico. Zico's still 4/10ths behind Kellen. Kellen was half a second back off his previous best time. Asseldor's popped up into P2 though, so let's stick with Asseldor for a little bit. Really impressive qualifying for him. He's ahead of a few Tier 1 drivers now. And he's gone back to the pits.
Yeah, not a lot of people improved on their second run.
No, I'm wondering if the tyres have only 1 good lap in them before they start losing a bit. But Zico's up again. He's nearly 2/10ths up on this lap, so this would put him ahead of Asseldor if he can keep this up.
It's quite possible that they're overheating them a bit and they only get 1 good attempt.
Yeah, there's not much of an opportunity for the tyres to cool down on this track because the corners come right after another, and we're on soft tyres, don't forget, as well, so they behave very differently to the racing tyres that these guys are used to. 4/10ths up now. This could be a potential pole position. Kellen improved again, which means that Zico, despite improving by 4/10ths, which would have been enough to get on pole, Kellen improved by another 2/10ths, so he keeps P1 for now. Asseldor's still in the pits, so he's completely given up. Go on.
Impressive pace from Kellen, definitely.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought Zico would have this qualifying session in the bag. Oh, Pyro's off track. He's going to be distracting his teammate Owen, who's got past it. Looks like Pyro has gone to a complete stop. Sick Boy jumps up into P3. Let's stick with Owen to see if he can improve. He's probably the only person who could trouble the top 4 as it stands. He's 9/10ths off of pole position at the moment, so he's not had a good qualifying session, stuck behind Pyro the whole time. And we're rounding the final corner now, and let's see if he can improve. Kellen right behind him as well, might improve again. So Owen does improve.
But
yeah,
not enough.
Not enough. He's still just a 10th behind Owen there. Pyro 2/10ths behind him. So that's not the worst result for this team, Yokohama. So they're lining up 5th and 6th. It's something to build upon. I think everyone else is from completely different teams in the top 4, and then the rest of their teammates are a little bit lower. Someone's, I think, left the lobby. Is that JMS play might have disconnected, it looks like. So Juho lining up 10th, Kanata in 9th, pretty disappointing qualifying for him, Deco 8th, and Mr. Revenge in 7th. So it's kind of where we expected everyone to be. Lots of Tier 1 drivers in the top 5, apart from Aseldor, and then there's Pyro, and then it's, well, Tier 3 drivers, and then Juho at the rear. So yeah, that's pretty much as we expected, although, yeah, really well done for Kellen. I've not seen this kind of pace from him before, so I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, definitely. They seem to be ordered about as expected. And team-wise, Yokohama would have the best opportunity here if they get their strategy right,
Yeah,
because they're together. So that might be useful for them. And I would expect that Pyro knows the best strategy around here right now.
I have absolutely no idea. I think if what was it, 5 laps minimum on the softs before you can get rid of them? Is that the rule?
They must start and finish on the softs, and in between they need to use the hards for 5 laps.
Okay, so they could potentially pit on lap 1 if they want to get out of traffic. So maybe Owen might be a good candidate to do that if you can't get into the top 3 on lap 1 and get some clear air.
Potentially, I think it'll be probably dictated by what the people in front of him do,
Yeah.
because if everyone pits, that'll be pointless for him.
I think this might be the track though, where if you make a pit stop, you're basically a lap down because of how long it takes. So that could be an issue. You might want to stay out as long as possible just in case that happens. Right, we're resetting the lobby for JMS, it looks like. And then we're going to get going.
So what do you think they'll do? Do you think they'll do one hard stint or they'll split those 5 laps?
I think I would just keep going until the softs go off, do my 5 laps on hards, and then try and do as long as I can on the softs again. But if you need to extend that hard stint to make the because the softs don't last that long, then you're going to have to. So minimum time possible on the hards would be my strategy.
It's interesting, all of these races have very high tire wear rates. So
Yeah.
this one is on 12th, and in all of our races, this really exposed a lot of differences in how much people can manage tires. So
Okay.
there might be different possible strategies for different drivers here.
Yeah, that's true. Some people will probably be forced to go on the hards for longer then in that case, if they can't make the softs last. Or potentially even an extra pit stop. So is there anyone in this lineup here that seems to be really good on tires from what you've seen?
I have seen Pyro on the first race be very gentle on his tires. I think he was very prepared for it,
Hmm.
so he might be prepared here as well. And I am kind of worried for Zico because he loves to shred tires.
Yeah, Vikings flaming him in the chat as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out on Zico's tire wear, because if they do go off, he might be at the front to begin and then start falling behind and causing some issues. But he's the only A plus driver. Oh no, Owen's A plus and Callan's A plus. Never mind. There's 3 A plus drivers tonight. I don't know what my eyes were doing to me there. So yeah, expecting him to at least be on the podium despite that. I remember Pyro was saying when the update came, because obviously certain driving styles tear up the tires now when they didn't before, and his was definitely one of them, because despite driving on wheel, he does turn full 90 degrees when he takes corners, which is not the ideal thing to do. So he's slowly learning in the off season how not to shred his tires so that he can actually compete next season.
It definitely doesn't work anymore. I
No.
have a similar experience and it just doesn't work anymore.
Right, here we go. We're just waiting for the lights to come on now. It's quite dark as well. Right, here we go. 5 lights on. And it's lights out and away we go. Let's see who manages to get a better start. Everyone seems to have gotten a pretty even start. Zico is going to challenge into turn 1, but Kellen is a full car length ahead. He's going to block off Zico, and Zico's going to try and move around the outside and not hang it into it. Sick Boy right behind as well in P3, challenging Zico now.
Very clean so far. I'm absolutely surprised.
Yeah, this is the hairpin though where things can potentially go wrong. Asador's having a little look on the inside of Sick Boy. Kellen just ahead of Zico now as well. Asador having to hold off a little bit, and he's holding up Owen a tiny amount as a result. Looks like everyone's still in the lead pack as well. That's good to see.
Let's see if Zico will be able to grab some good slipstream here.
Might be Sick Boy actually. Well. Sick Boy's very close behind. Kellen's already going defensive into the final corner, and everyone's going to try and do the slipstream train.
Very cautious from Sick Boy.
Yeah, Kellen looked like he absolutely nailed that final corner as well. It must be a bit difficult with dirty air as well. So heading into lap 2, it's pretty much as you were from the start. The top 3 have broken away by 0.6 on Asador, who's slightly ahead of Owen now. Owen putting a bit more pressure on him.
I think Pyro's lost position there. He's into 7th.
Pyro's dropped behind Revenge, so I don't know if that was a mistake or just a really good overtake. We missed that one. JMS up into 8th as well, so he had to start last, and he's already progressed up to 8th, so... Whoa, a little bit of contact with Kanata, but gets the move done and keeps the position so he can start chasing down Pyro now. A little bit further up, everyone is super close still. Kellen has a half-second lead on Zico at the moment.
Kellen seems to have nailed the last corner one more time.
Yeah.
He's definitely keeping Zico at bay.
I wonder if you can get penalties going too wide in that final corner.
I think you have to go extremely wide to get a penalty.
Okay. There. So no penalties really possible on this track then. Pyro catching, well actually he's dropped 0.8 behind Mr. Revenge now, so he's not doing too well. JMS Play caught him up by a couple of tenths as well. So Pyro really needing to make some progress up the field if his team are going to qualify.
Yeah, so we've started to see a bit of a split into 2 main paths here.
Yeah, but Zico's incredibly close to Kellen now. Kellen's gone defensive really early on the back straight. And Zico just can't pull alongside though. He might get a really good exit out of this corner.
And he does. So he now has a golden opportunity here.
Yep, is he going to be brave on brakes? Kellen's going to stick it around the outside. And Kellen lost a little bit of traction mid-corner there, and Zico just swoops through and takes the lead of the race. And his tyres are identical to Kellen's as well, so he's not actually shredding them.
Great move by Zico, and I think Kellen just went very cautious there.
Yeah, he was. He was a little bit too cautious, but he was caught out a little bit on the outside of turn 1. And he's really stuck to the back of Zico though, so they're really pushing each other through this lap, and they've dropped Asador, who's actually got past Sick Boy as well. So it's all starting to come alive now. Let's ride on board with Kellen. This is the exact opposite of what we saw on the previous lap.
I'd say Zico was a bit closer on the previous one, but yeah, I think if Kellen can keep up, definitely has an opportunity.
He did get that corner a little bit better, and it's forcing Zico to go defensive into turn 1. And Zico's going to slide through. That is not how you take turn 1. allowing Kellen to pull alongside, but Zico's got the inside for the hairpin that's just about to come. And he just holds onto it, but Kellen's got a better exit again. He's still alongside. And they're still alongside into the next hairpin as well. Kellen's just got his nose ahead, but Zico's gonna hold on the inside and push Kellen out a little bit and gets that position for now again. This has allowed Asseldor to really close up as well, so that lead that these two had, they've completely ruined it by battling.
Definitely, but yes, Zico definitely put it in the middle of the track on those technical corners. Kellen didn't have anywhere to pass.
No, he just runs into the back of Zico, who was a little bit sideways in the entry to the corner, which again isn't good on the tyres the way that Zico's tackling that final corner compared to Kellen. And now Asseldor really close behind, could potentially be in with a shout of winning if he gets the pit stops right. Looks like fuel's not going to be an issue for this one though. Yeah, he got a little nudge by Sick Boy there. Sick Boy getting a bit impatient now.
All the tires seem to be in about the same condition. So
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
It'll be interesting once the drop off starts. It'll be interesting who it affects the most.
Everyone taking very unique lines through that corner, trying to avoid each other. So Asseldor going defensive for some reason. Kellen potentially thinking about a late move. Zico coming into the pits. Actually, everyone's coming into the pits apart from Sick Boy. Jesus, that was a scary pit entry. So Sick Boy's going to take the lead of the race and potentially get an overcut done on these guys if they're going to be putting on hard tires.
This is his opportunity to make up places with an overcut.
Yeah. And Owen and Pyro actually pit the lap before. Oh, Pyro just had a 3-second penalty, so he cut the pit lane. So that's going to put him even further back. So what we're looking for here is... Oh no, that was horrible.
We weren't looking for that one.
I was... yeah, there's everyone else. Because they got the overcut on Owen, essentially. He's come out with Mr. Revenge, who was behind him. And is just about to lose that position, yeah, because he's going wide. He's going to stick it out, though. He might get P6 back off Mr. Revenge, but lost sight of the leaders because he pit that lap earlier. Oh, dear. That wasn't good.
Not something you want to see. I think the undercut just doesn't work because of the hard tires.
Yeah, I agree. It's very difficult, giving him benefit of the doubt, it's very difficult on these hard sports tyres, but now he's getting in the way of Owen. Owen's flashing him, he's not very happy. He wants him to just get out of the way for him. He might go for it. Yeah, I knew it. He's going to lunge and get the position that he felt that he should have had anyway. Now we've got Sick Boy and Deco in the pit, so let's stick with Sick Boy and see if he gets the overcut, sorry, on Zico by staying out on those softs a little bit longer.
It'll be good if he's managed to build a bit of a gap to someone, because on the first lap the hard tires are really tough to warm up.
So that is the lead that he's got. He is 1.4 ahead of Sick Boy. So that's worked out well for Sick Boy, but the thing that I'm wondering is they have to do 5 laps minimum. If these guys do 5 laps minimum on the hards and can go for the rest of the race on their final set of soft tyres, the guys who pit early, so Owen and Pyro, should have a huge advantage and get a big undercut done on everyone else, especially Sick Boy, who's going to have to stay out 2 laps later.
Potentially yes, but Pyro did get that penalty and Owen was involved and just slowed down because of fighting, so I think they might have kind of lost that advantage.
Yeah, I agree. So, who is Sick Boy's teammate again? Was it Juho? Juho's in P9. Oh no, he's on Team Fanatec. Sick Boy, I don't know, he's not got his team name on. Zico and Juho are 2nd and 9th respectively.
It's Mr. Revenge. He's with Sick Boy.
Mr. Revenge and Sick Boy, they're doing a lot better. Both of them in the top 6, Sick Boy winning. So that is pretty good as it stands for them after everyone's made the first pit stop. Kellen in Team Castrol is 3rd and JMS is 7th. So that puts them right in the mix. Then we got Asador in 4th, but Kanata's all the way down in 11th, and he's miles behind everyone else. So that isn't looking too good for Team Sparko, I've got to say, after this first race. Kanata wouldn't be scoring points. Then we've got Owen and Pyro in 5th and 8th. Might just keep them just about... Oh, Owen going off track there. Actually saves it really well.
It's interesting, Mr. Revenge on behind went on the grass as well a lot.
Yeah, you probably saw Owen go off and just followed him. It is an easy thing to do. And then Deco's all on his own for Team Enios, so he's not really playing for anything down in P10. And I think that's everyone. But yeah, Sick Boy still has that same gap, 1.4 seconds ahead of Zico. Kellen has stopped putting pressure on Zico, maybe because he doesn't want to lose too much time to Sick Boy through fighting. And Astor really hanging on in the back there. So it's definitely a 4-horse race at the moment with a 7.6 second gap all the way back to Owen there.
Sick Boy definitely had a huge overcut done there, but now that once they swap the tires, it'll be interesting if he'll be able to make something out of it, because these guys will pit a lap earlier and have way better pace.
It's looking at worst for Sick Boy P4, but he really needs to hope that Kellen starts putting a bit more pressure. He's actually pretty close now on Zico. These guys still haven't done 5 laps on these hard tyres yet, so no one is going to be coming into the pits on this lap. I don't even think Owen and Pyro will be. Let's just follow Owen and see what he does. Oh, it looks like he is coming into the pits, actually. Let's see if he can avoid a penalty. Yeah. So Pyro will be following him in. So this is the gamble for Team Yokohama. Is that what they're called? I think, yeah. Who should have a lap of clear air to just chew up those seconds. Maybe 3-4 seconds they could gain on a single lap on these guys if everything works out well for them. Zico catching Sick Boy now, less than a second.
So the top 4 are definitely fighting in between themselves, because there's a large gap to 5th place right now.
Yeah, especially with Owen pitting.
And I think Sick Boy has an opportunity to at least be 3rd after the pit stops. We'll see how he'll manage.
Yeah. So if my maths is right, these guys are all coming into the pits now. Asador losing a bit of time to those two above. So Sick Boy's got to do his one final painful lap on these hard tyres and hope that it'll be enough to stay ahead, but with only a 1 second lead on Zico, I think that'll be tough. Everyone else in the pits, let's see what Owen is up to. He's nearly caught Deco and Martin, who haven't actually made their pit stops yet. So Owen was around about 7 seconds back on Asador. So this will be a good indication of how crucial this overcut is in terms of time gained. Well, actually, they're all comfortably out already. But he is quite a way ahead of Mr. Revenge, who's actually been undercut there by Pyro. So that was a good one for Pyro. He can just focus on driving away. Owen's actually caught the back of these guys who haven't pit yet, though, so this is messing up with his strategy.
Yeah, I think Pyro had a very good in-lap there, so he's managed to jump Mr. Revenge.
Yeah, managed to avoid the penalty.
Sick Boy is in the pit right now.
Sick Boy's in the pit, so let's join Zico, who is still really close with Kellen. There's less than 3/10 between them still. It's probably still not enough for Kellen to have a go into the final corner, but their priority now should be to get ahead of Sick Boy before they start fighting themselves.
I have a feeling Kellen is saving it for the final laps.
He seems to be the guy with the pace, for sure. It's just he hasn't found a way out. There comes Sick Boy, actually slots in just behind Asseldor, but he is really in with a good shout of a good result here if he could stick it, because he's got better tyres than these guys because he pit a lap later, which is going to benefit him for the rest of the race. But at the top, Kellen is finally having a go at Zico. He's got the inside for the chicane, for the hairpin, sorry, and it looks like he's got the position done.
Yes, he is ahead and got it sealed.
Yeah, Zico now has to be a bit careful with Asseldor, yeah.
And I'm sure Sick Boy is enjoying all of this fighting right now.
Yeah, this is perfect. He potentially needed this to happen a lap earlier when he was all on his own, but yeah, this is good news for him. He's really close behind Asseldor, and he's known for having the odd lunge. Is Sick Boy? He'll go for a gap if he thinks one is there. I think it's fair to say. So Asseldor will have to be really careful with where he's placing the car. Pyro went off, did he? Oh yeah, he's behind Mr. Revenge and JMS Play now. Okay, so that might be what puts Yokohama out of contention tonight. Because it really seems like a four-way battle between these four cars and then what their teammates can do a little bit further down in the grid.
Kellen is not able to pull away on Zico though, at all.
No, we said that he had all the pace, but he's been overtaken. He's not been able to do anything since then. There's this thing that happens though, where it's like a driver mentality thing. You are under a little bit less pressure when you're the one trying to get the overtake done, and that can give you a little bit more confidence. And then when you're always looking in your rear view mirrors, the opposite happens.
Absolutely, and I think probably right now Asseldor has some pace as well, but just not enough to challenge them in front.
Yeah. Still just 1.1 seconds separate the entire top four here. Looks like Asseldor's really close to Zico, who took a really tight entry into turn one. Wasn't able to get anything done though.
He did get the fastest lap, so that's a point.
Yep, that could potentially be a crucial point for Owen. And Zico's currently got the fastest lap, but he's still stuck behind Kellen. Fastest sector, sorry. Right, let's ride on board with Asseldor, because he's under 3/10 behind Zico. Zico has struggled with this final corner, getting a lot of wheel spin on the entry here, kind of going sideways into the corner, which you can see there, which Kellen doesn't do that much and Astor doesn't do that much, which gives them a little bit better traction on the exit. But yeah, it was still just good enough to stay with Kellen, and oh, Astor brakes incredibly late there, nearly collects Zico, but manages to stop his car just in time. Actually gets a better exit than Zico as well.
They had given up on trying different lines for the last few laps, but they seem to be more ambitious now.
Yeah, we've only got 2 and a bit laps left for any changes in positions. You don't really have, it's kind of a win or bust situation for these guys as well. You need to get maximum points possible. 15 points for the race win here, which Kellen is pretty close to getting, and with JMS in 6th, that would put them in pole position for winning this final last chance night that we've got going on. Zico closing in a little bit, but still 4/10 back on Kellen. Yeah, it's not looking good. He's not really had a proper go at Kellen since Kellen overtook him. He does get the fastest lap though.
It's interesting, the gaps between the top 4 are pretty much identical in between them. They're about 4/10 between each other almost everywhere.
Yeah, you get this a lot with Tsukuba, and it's why like Group 3 cars never work around here. They're just simply too fast, because even with these cars, the corners come so thick and fast, you can't ever capitalize on getting like a really good exit, because the next corner's already arriving and you're having to think about the car ahead braking as well. So you're just stuck to the car behind, the car ahead, no matter what you do. And that's what Zico's finding now. Yeah, just praying for a mistake, but it's quite hard to make a mistake when the cars are going so slow. And you're a good driver as well to boot. So, yeah, going into the final lap here after this final corner, Sick Boy seems to have dropped off a little bit at the back. Asador's still in with an outside chance, but Zico really has to get something done into turn 1 potentially. It could be his last chance. He's got a quarter of a second back. He's thinking about the dive bomb and then backs out of it at the last second.
It wasn't enough to scare Kellen into a mistake, though.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to do, scare him, but he is still incredibly close going into this next hairpin, which is not really an overtaking zone because of the way that you approach it. Zico goes incredibly wide. That's going to open the door for Aseldor, who I think bumps him through the corner, and he's now side by side with Zico. But it's all kicking off on the final lap.
Zico went a bit too hot, slid at the rear, and that's given Asador a look now.
Yeah, but he's managed to defend well into this final hairpin as we are on the back straight. Zico going incredibly defensive already. Astor's going to get alongside. No, he's not able to, so Zico's going to retake the racing line. But let's join with Kellen, who's going to take the final turn and take a crucial victory for his team, Castrol, here on the first race of the night. Zico just ahead of Aseldor by 1/10 of a second. Sick Boy in P4. Then we got quite a big gap back to Owen. He's going to take P5 for Yokohama. And then the best of the rest, we got Castrol's JMS taking a P1 and a P6. Mr. Revenge, P7 there. Pyro, P8. We've got Juho in P9. That's Zico's teammate, so he's not had the best of times, although he looks like he's going to get the fastest lap of his race here. Big gap behind Pyro.
Castro is the big winner here.
Absolutely. The first race. And then we got Sparko's, Kanata. So that's Aseldor's teammate, only getting the 1 point. Deco not scoring any for Team Enios with his teammates, all unable to race tonight as well. So let's have a quick look and see what that actually means. So Castrol will be in the lead, that's for sure. Who's Sick Boy's teammate again? Is it Mr. Revenge?
Yes.
They might potentially be in second place because they've got a P4 and a P7. It's between them and Zico's team, and Aseldor's team actually. They'll all be within a point maximum of each other right now. Zico got the fastest lap, so that might actually put his team ahead. He got the fastest lap by 0.2 of a second on Kellen there, so that's a really good bit of consolidation there. He kept his P2 and he got the fastest lap to put his team in contention. I think his team's Fanatec, isn't it?
That's definitely a good lap in there, considering they were all line astern. And
yeah.
Asador is actually just 4 thousandths slower than Kellen on his fastest lap.
Yeah.
So Zico managed to pull something out of the bag for that 1 point.
That was a really good one. It's was quite a good race actually for Tsukuba.
Not much overtaken, but there were opportunities there, and it's just everyone managed to keep it clean
exactly
at the front, and that's essentially what sealed it.
So this next race, I think this has a preset grid. So we are going to be doing Mount Panorama next, which is the complete opposite of the track that you just saw. What car are we going to be in for this one?
We'll be in the Renault Megane Group 4, not the trophy one, and I'm hoping everyone got the right car for the race.
Oh, that's a good car to drive. That's a really fun car to drive. So, yeah, Panorama is a great track for Group 4s as well. Very technical track where driver skill is really on display. And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong spectacularly because it's a very unforgiving track with gravel and walls, and sometimes it can take like 20 seconds to get back on the track if you go wide at certain corners. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. I think we've got a substitution as well. I think Kanata's uh, being replaced in this one by Lord Hans, who got quite a few
Yes.
podiums in Tier 5 this season.
So this one should be pretty straightforward strategy-wise because it's 18 laps on 4 times fuel and there's no tire rules.
Yeah. Will the
So
pit
I
stop be
imagine,
needed then? Or
I would guess if anyone tries to do it on soft, he'll need to do a pit stop.
cool. So this one has a grid that is set, I think, by their previous best finishing positions in the group stages. So it's going to be one driver of each down the list, and then their second drivers, whoever they nominate to start on pole and not start on pole. And I'm pretty sure Kellen, our race winner from the previous race we've just seen, is actually won out to be pole position in this race as well. So that's going to be,
Yes.
and I think Pyro's starting behind him. So hopefully Pyro's got a bit more pace in this race. Otherwise, Kellen is absolutely going to run away with it. And Castrol, I think it's safe to say, would be the overall winners of the night.
Potentially, Mr. Revenge, Kevin's teammate, is starting in 10th position, so he would need to make some ground up to
Yeah.
seal it for sure. But yeah, Kellen is starting in first, Pyro in second, and then Deco is in third. So that'll be something to watch for at the start and see if Kellen will be able to pull away.
Vikings asking, what did Yokohama cook to put Pyro in second? Yeah, they chose Pyro to start in second instead of Owen. So I'm guessing that their tactic is Owen's just going to come through the field because he's a better driver, and Pyro needs all the help that he can get. That's my theory. Unless Pyro's actually genuinely quicker, it's not impossible.
I'm loving that Sick Boy has asked for a bit of a break for PS cooldown.
A
He's
PS
been having a
cooldown.
few issues with his PS overheating.
Oh dear. Is that why he didn't get a podium there?
Uh, I don't think so, but I know he actually disconnected from a race because it
Yes, he does
just
disconnect quite
switched
a
off.
lot. Yeah, he failed evaluation by disconnecting and not completing the evaluation races.
That's probably one of the sadder ways to fail evaluation.
Hmm.
So Pyro had overheating issues and he fixed them, but yeah, Sick Boy seems to be suffering.
Okay, well, hopefully he can join fairly soon and we can get going.
So I think another one to watch would be Asador. He actually did pretty good here during last season, and I think he quite enjoys the track ever
Yeah,
since allegedly Viking told it to love it, and we'll see if that pays off tonight.
yeah, Asador was really good here. Pyro can be really good as well. I think he got one of his better results around here in the sprint race. Zico's really good around here. Um, Owen's, of course, going to be a threat. I don't know anything about how Kellen will do around here, though, to be honest. I know he raced here in on Monday Leagues, but I don't think he had the best of results. He was in the Beetle, though, so...
Well, the Beetle is a meta car now that we know, so There's no excuses there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's only half of it. The other half of it is where are the teammates, the guys that aren't the tier 1 drivers but are also competing tonight going to finish. And it was JMS who actually was pretty much best of the rest out of those guys, Kellen's teammate. So he needs to repeat that again just to be sure. Even with Kellen starting on pole, he's going to be a little bit further down. Lord Hans is going to be an unknown. Pyro had some good pace, but struggled a bit in the previous race. And Mr. Revenge, same. They both ended up falling behind GMS, so they both had problems that we didn't see on the stream during that race.
I hope they've practiced the track at night as well, because they're going to be driving into the dark, and that might spring up some surprises at the top of the mountain.
Okay. Looks like we're going to start soon. So we got Kellen on pole, then Pyro, Deco, Asador's in a good position, P4. Sickboy's in a decent position, then Zico all the way down in 6th, so he's got a lot of work to do. Owen all the way down in 8th for a tier 1 driver, so he's the lowest of the fast guys, and Pyro's definitely the quickest of the slow.
I'll have a guess that Owen will make up positions in the first lap just because of errors. Somewhere
Yeah, I think he'll
fighting.
be top 5 by the end of lap 1, unless he is the one that's making the mistakes. So,
Or
really
unless he
tight
gets
run down to
collected.
turn 1 as well, which can end up in people being punted off, like what happened to me at the sprint race. So let's hope that this doesn't happen for these guys and everyone finds their breaking point.
Hopefully Pyro makes it out.
Let's find out. Right, lights out, away we go. It looks like a good start by everyone. Managed to get through all right. Kellen with the inside line into turn 1. Pyro having to go the long way around the outside. Manages to cut back onto the inside. Deco under pressure already from Asador, who looks like he's going to get past Deco now. Yep, he's already passed him. So Deco dropped to P4. Zico's up to P5. Then we got Sickboy and JMS, who's coming under pressure from Owen, trying to make some progress already as we head into turn 2 here. Owen's got the inside line, but really late braking from JMS, and he's in the wall. And that is damage as well, so he's going to drop all the way to the back. And that is a disaster for the team that are in pole position at the moment for qualifying.
Definitely wasn't
more
ideal.
contact ahead. Looks like everyone's got out of it without damage somehow, but Sickboy's managed to get back ahead of Zico in all of that.
So at the front, Kellen had a good start, and Pyro managed to keep it clean in the first turn, which is vital for him. Asador did a great start, gained the position, and now they seem to be pulling just a little bit from the back.
Yep, quite a good gap at the moment. Asador really stuck behind Pyro. He's absolutely flying above the mountain there, but yeah, Pyro's taking the mountain section a little bit worse than Asador. Asador definitely getting held up, and you can see because the gap to Kellen is already pretty big. Yeah, not the best mountain section there for Pyro. And that's allowed Deco, who was over a second behind Asador, to close the gap entirely. And because of Pyro's slowness, Asador's potentially losing a spot here.
Pyro must have had some issue there because he lost quite a lot of time.
Yeah, but now Asador's going to send it down the inside. That is way too far. Yeah, that was only going one way. And he's in the gravel, and this is potentially the end of his team's run because he's just lost 4 positions, make that 5. Owen up into P6, so he didn't manage to get into the top 5, but he is up 2 positions from the start already, and still just behind Zico and Sickboy. Zico's going to send it. Actually, he thinks better of it.
Can we do a quick check on what tires Kellen is on out in front?
Yes. Kellen's on the mediums and just going through.
Everyone seems to be on the mediums, yeah.
Apart from Hans and Juho, who are the last 2, are on the softs. I don't think that's how it's meant to work, but never mind. Right, let's see. Oh, Pyro's in the wall. Pyro is in the wall, and Deco is going to be the person to get up into P2. And he's going to hold it as long as Pyro doesn't punt him on the exit. He doesn't, and that's a great little overtake there for Deco. Now Pyro under a lot of pressure. Sick Boy, Zico, Owen trying to move on the inside of Sick Boy. Sick Boy just getting bullied down the order here.
Owen managed to capitalize on that fight.
Absolutely. But yeah,
sticking a clean overtake.
It's not over yet. Pyro's wanting his position back, but Zico's got a bit of a run on him, but this is not an overtaking zone. And this is where Pyro started being incredibly slow, so watch Deco potentially driving away from Pyro here if it is just a skill issue on his part down the mountain. And there's a bit of a traffic jam forming behind as well now.
Yeah, so Owen is trying to not punt Zico.
Yeah, and avoid getting punted himself by Sick Boy. And Asseldor's actually caught back up to these guys now as well. Zico's got a run on Pyro. The last person who tried this was Asseldor, and he ended up in the gravel, so Zico has to choose his braking point a little bit better.
He is further ahead, so he has a good chance here.
Yeah, really good there. No, it's going past his teammate and nudges him out the way, and that is going to allow Sick Boy to get past as well. I'm not entirely sure that that was planned. If it was, that was poorly executed. Oh, and Astor's going to shove it on the inside of Pyro. He's going to get the position as well. It's going to be a drag race down into turn 1.
A lot of ambitious overtakes we've seen so far.
Yeah. And Pyro really squeezes Asseldor out there, and Revenge is going to be thinking about a move on Asseldor now. So, yeah, it's all kicking off. Let's see what's going on a little bit further up. Zico is 8/10 back on Deco, which is a bit difficult one to say. But he's going to be able to probably catch up to him through the mountain, especially if Deco is going to take corners like that. Completely missed the apex there.
Definitely catching up to him a little bit. We'll see now in this section if he'll be able to
squeeze
behind.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of breathing space behind. Owen's 8/10 back at the moment.
Not having to look in your mirrors helps on this specific track.
Oh yeah, you can't afford to, because you need to keep your eyes on where you're actually braking for these corners. Zico trying some interesting lines over the hill compared to Deco. And he gets a much better exit there. He's going to potentially... No, he backs out of it and tucks in behind Deco. He could have stuck his car there, but I don't think it would have ended well. Deco taking an incredibly tight corner around the hairpin, which is going to allow Zico to potentially get a move done before the end of the straight here. We can't really see these cars, unfortunately, because we're racing in the night time. This is the best view of the cars, which you still can't really see much, but never mind. Deco's going to try and hold it on the inside of this next corner.
So far, so good.
They give each other plenty of space, which you love to see. And now Owen's right behind Deco and probably fancying a move as well. He gets out the way in time and pulls alongside into the final corner.
Deco kept it very clean with Zico, but unfortunately that has really put Owen into the game.
Yeah, it really has.
As well.
And Deco wins for now, but Owen's going to be still in the slipstream, and they've lost Zico already up front, so Deco won't be taking advantage of the slipstream there. I don't know if that was a bit of a bump draft actually. I think he's bump drafting Deco at the moment. And now he's going to go for a move at the end of the straight, is he? No, he's not. He's not alongside enough to try one. Deco wide again into turn 2. That's the second lap in a row he's done that.
Meanwhile, Kellen is having a boring midnight drive there, out in front.
Yeah, a bit easier this one for Kellen compared to the previous race. Not having his Tier 1 rivals lining up alongside him for this one. And Deco gets... well, eats the wall a little bit there and just gifts the position to Owen. So Owen into the top 3. It only took well, up to lap 4 for him to do that. So that's a pretty good start for Owen. Oh, and just as I say that, he hits the wall. Keeps the position, avoids damage as well. So at the moment, Kellen has pretty much a 6.7 second lead. Zico really doing some interesting things with his car there, which seemed to work actually. He's catching up to Kellen a little bit on the downhill section. But yeah, that's a big gap to try and close, even though he's got 14 laps still to do it.
I'm interested in if Asador is catching up to Pyro or not. What's the gap there?
Oh, well, there's the gap. There is no gap. Asador on the inside, but it becomes the outside to the next corner. Mr. Revenge is in there as well. Pyro's actually being bullied out by both of them. Mr. Revenge is pushing Asador onto the gravel there, and yeah, so he loses 2 positions. Pyro's now going to challenge Mr. Revenge. Mr. Revenge having a bit of a sloppy event tonight, it's got to be said. I've not seen him race before, but maybe he needs to work on his racecraft a little bit.
It was a bit of an ambitious attempt.
Yeah, there we go. There's the sarcastic well done from Asador.
I think Pyro sort of backed out, thinking that exactly that will happen.
Yeah.
So he might have actually done a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. Pyro's got a chance of getting P6 here though, so he's been falling backwards. This is his first opportunity to get an overtake done. And Revenge incredibly late on the brakes. Still makes the corner pretty well though, so good defending there by Revenge. Oh, I thought Revenge was heading for the wall there, but he managed to avoid it and actually took the corner pretty well compared to Pyro. Right, a little bit further up, let's see. Sick Boy is now the next person queuing up to overtake Deco. The gap is half a second, which is closing because Deco's just grazed the wall there.
I think he'll catch up to him a bit too soon now in these corners, and he'll actually have to slow down.
Yeah, he's going to start getting backed up a little bit. Although Deco has been pretty good on this downhill section. I think it's the uphill section he struggled more on.
He seems to take a very tight line through here.
Yeah.
But yeah, managed to get a good exit this time compared to Sick Boy.
Yeah, I think half a second is a little bit too far back to be challenging at this point. Meanwhile, Astor's 7/10 back on Pyro, so potentially going to try and overtake Pyro in the next lap or two. A little bit further back, we've got JMS in 9th, 9 seconds behind Asador. Then there's another big gap to Lord Hans, struggling in 10th, and Juho really struggling down in 11th as well. So, yeah, things not going too good for those two guys, and JMS not going to be contributing as much in this race as he did in the first one as well for his team. But that's fine, because his teammate has a huge lead at the moment. Here we go.
Asador would be gutted, because if it wasn't for that early mistake, he seems to have the pace. He's already catching up again. Yeah.
Asador's going to still potentially finish top 6, potentially top 5 as well. I think he could get Deco by the end, but yeah, really unfortunate with his 2 mistakes that he's made this race. Well, 1 mistake and 1 was someone else's mistake, I suppose. Yeah, Deco, that's a choice that he's making in turn 2 then, to go wide. It's maybe because if you hit the curbs a little bit there, it is easy to spin the car out. I've seen a lot of drivers do that in Monday League.
He does like the wall on the left hand side though.
Yeah, he's not shy. And this next wall here, he's hit a few times. Oh, he just avoided it actually. So Sick Boy just chilling behind him at the moment. Oh, here we go. Deco off track, and that's an easy position for Sick Boy. And where is Mr. Revenge? He was over 4 seconds back, and the gap has closed quite significantly there. And oh, he's hit the wall again. And here comes Mr. Revenge now. Deco doesn't have damage. Mr. Revenge actually does have damage, but has been closing the gap. So that's how bad Deco's taken this bit. Pyro's got a chance of taking Mr. Revenge, because Mr. Revenge has damage, which is going to penalize him down this really long back straight. See how we can close the gap.
Not too much of a difference in the speed so far, but yeah.
Right, Pyro has to be brave here under braking, I think. Mr. Revenge just plants his car in front of Pyro and slams the brakes on.
There's an angry Asador behind him.
Yes, I know. This is going to be spicy soon. Pyro needs to get this overtake done before Asador comes in, because I don't think Asador's going to be waiting around.
Not an optimal exit there from Pyro. So
no, he just lost it.
Just hoping to keep it now.
Yeah, just lost about a tenth or two. But Deco is in P5 just ahead, going pretty slowly, it's got to be said. They're still catching up quite a lot on him. Revenge really wide into turn 2 as well. Pyro taking the optimal line, which is why he's right behind him, nose to tail now. I think it's about to be Asador who's going to have to go on Pyro, to be honest.
He's definitely itching for it now, and I don't think he'll have the patience anymore to wait out more.
Here we go. Pyro really had to lift a lot into that, and there was nowhere for Asador to go, so he just bumps into the back of Pyro on the exit of the corner. So I'm assuming we're entering a pit window at the end of this lap. Oh, both Pyro and Revenge hit the wall on the exit there, so this might be a good opportunity for Asador.
Pyro's just being saved a bit by the slipstream, but Asador definitely has overspeed here.
Asador's definitely quicker than these two ahead of him. Revenge is all over the place in terms of his speed, and also he's really squeezed Pyro to the edge of the track there. They did really well to keep it on, and Revenge has outbraked himself, and now he's the one in the gravel at this chicane, and both Pyro and Asador swoop through, and now Asador will be wanting to complete the job and get this position on Pyro, which he should have had quite a few laps ago, to be honest.
Yeah, well, at least he'll be happy Mr. Revenge is behind him now, and a bit of a gap there. But I'm looking at the front, and I kind of have a feeling Zico has actually caught up to Kellen a bit.
6.7. Yeah, so that's still
look a lot better than some of the people behind, though.
Yeah, so let's just have a look at lap time. So Kellen's lapping a 14.8 right now, 14.2 for Zico, so that's 0.6 quicker. 14.2 as well for Owen, so he's sticking the same distance pretty much behind Zico, and a 14.6 for Sick Boy, so he's just a couple of tenths down on them as well. And then Deco's in the 15s, Pyro's in the 15s, Asador's in the 15s, and Revenge is in the 18s because he went off.
So out of the top 4, I think Owen's tires are actually the worst.
Well, his front right is slightly better than Zico and Kellen's. Sick Boys are the best, actually. So this could come back to him towards the end of this stint, before he comes into the pits, unless they're coming in at the end of this lap. But I have a feeling it might be 9 and 9 if they're doing a pit stop.
Well, they need to for fuel for sure.
Yeah, they need to put fuel in as well. Yeah, and I don't think medium tires would last all the way to the end with how worn these ones look.
There's definitely an opportunity to extend it though, and yeah, looking at it right now, some of these guys might come out of the pits in clean air, but it might still be risky.
Astor's actually lost a bit of time to Pyro as well. He's 1.8 down now. So let's join Kellen. So he hasn't come into the pits. Zico's not either. So it looks like nobody is actually coming to the pits on this lap. Maybe these guys are going to try a medium soft strategy.
I'm not sure it'll be worth it, but it's not impossible. Just looking at the tire wear, I'm not sure it'll make sense.
Yeah. When you think like the medium tires now last pretty much exactly twice as long as the softs. That means the softs are going to be going off pretty quickly. Like to puncture territory. They couldn't do 9 laps, that's for sure. So Mr. Revenge is actually the first person to come into the pits from the guys that were kind of leading the race. Actually, he's the first person in total. Even the guys who started on the softs are still going. That's going to be a rough lap for Lord Hans, by the way. His tyres are going to go completely off. He's going to get punctures. So potentially...
He's just started it, so that's definitely a mistake.
Yeah, a huge mistake, absolutely. So I would bet that Revenge would get past him by the end of this lap. Revenge has gone for medium, so he is trying the medium strategy, it seems like, because he's going to do an 8 lap stint followed by a 10 lap stint. A little bit further up, Kellen's lead is now under 6 seconds. Well, actually, I say that, and Zico must have made a little mistake because he's just dropped 4 tenths on Kellen on the exit of the onto the back straight. And Owen is slowly catching him as well.
So Owen's having a fantastic race so far tonight.
Yeah, considering how far back he started, and he's pretty close to P2 now. Okay, they're all coming into the pits. Kellen's in the pits already. Let's see if Zico and Owen can brake in time to avoid a penalty. That looked pretty clean to me. Sick Boy following them in. Nearly went off track and saved it at the last second. So Deco is actually going to be our race leader. He's carrying on. Pyro in the pits. Asador carrying on. He doesn't want to... Well, he wants to try something different to Pyro, it looks like. I think they've got to when they're this far back at this point. If they're going to be trying something to get through, it needs to be something different to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, if he felt he had a bit more pace over Pyro, it's definitely worth a try now to see if he can extend a bit.
So Mr. Revenge has got past Lord Hans on this lap. Lord Hans, when we joined him, had some damage on his car as well. So I think he's had a bit of a nightmare on his in-lap. Let's see if he can actually slow his car down. I have a feeling... Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's bad. And he's going to get a 3-second penalty to add insult to injury. But he does make it in. And here comes Juho, who's also going to get a 3-second penalty.
A bit better, but only just.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Deco and Astor are the only people who haven't pit now. Kellen is our net race leader. And his lead has actually shrunk even more. It's 4.7 seconds now. And Zico's actually gained half a second on Owen as well. So I don't know if that was just a good entry into the pits or he's just been really good since he's come out of it. But yeah, definitely the winner here through the pit phase at the moment, Zico.
I think he's just having a bit better outlap, probably.
Yeah, Owen a bit wobbly there as well. So they've all come out on mediums. Yep, every single driver on the track is on mediums right now.
Surely these guys need to come in now because I don't see their times improving with this tire wear.
No. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe if they stuck it one more lap after this, they could put on the softs. And then they've got a great chance. Yep, Deco's... Yeah, I think that's what Deco's doing. It must be really wide into the final corner. Asador is coming in though.
I think even if you do that strategy, you have to catch up to a lot of cars and actually pass them, and then at the
Yeah,
end the softs will just go off. So I'm
it's
not
true.
sure it's worth it.
It's true. It's very difficult to get a pass done here as well, because most of the track is just one turn after another. You don't get a chance to breathe, really. So it looks like he was battling with Pyro before the pit stop. He is still putting fuel in Asseldor, and Pyro's just started his 11th lap now. And you can see
He comes
Asseldor
out on
coming out just
softs.
ahead. He is on soft tyres, so he is going to try that strategy. His tyres are going to hate him at the end. Pyro's going to have a run on him. He obviously gets a better run coming out of turn 1 compared to coming out of the pits. Asseldor on the inside here as the sun's coming up now, which is good to see. Pyro is ahead, but is Asseldor going to be a bit braver on the brakes? He decides not to. I think he could have done it on the softs though.
I'm not sure on the out lap. There's
Yeah.
a big difference on the out lap.
Yeah, they are cold, that's true. And they've both
I
got a
think he
huge
should
lead
be.
on Mr. Revenge as well. Mr. Revenge pretty much 5 seconds down on these guys.
He should be able to overtake him on the soft tires, but I'm
Yeah,
really worried if he'll make it to the end on them.
I would imagine that he would get the move done on the back straight. He just needs to get good traction on the exit of the hairpin. Whoa!
Or this.
Yeah, that could help speed things along.
There we go, he's all over the back of him, and now he just needs a clean exit. Use that traction.
Yep. It was a good exit for Pyro, but he is going to come under immense pressure here now.
Yeah, so they'll just use those soft tires to get more traction and got very good slipstream right out the corner.
Yeah, but he's still got to stick it around this corner. We've seen him get it wrong on this corner, challenging with Pyro, but he's on the other side now. Pyro's still holding on around the inside. They do make a bit of contact. Astor tucks in behind Pyro. These guys are battling, and Deco's coming to the pits, who was battling for position with these guys as well. So Astor not able to do it. Maybe between turn 1 and turn 2 will be his next opportunity. Pyro eats the curb though. Astor goes incredibly wide, so might not be able to have a look into turn 1 as a result. Deco put in loads of fuel, and he's gone onto the softs. There he is coming out of the pit, so he has lost position by staying out extra late. Has Deco? He's been undercut by Pyro and Asseldor there, and Pyro and Owen, P3 and P5 could be putting their team into contention for going through today.
Definitely a good result so far, though those starting orders couldn't have been that bad in terms of strategy.
Yeah, it's kept Pyro near the front anyway. If he started further back and had some incidents, it could have unravelled a lot quicker. But it's potentially deprived Owen the chance of winning the race. So let's see what's going on a little bit further up. Okay, Owen has caught up to the back of Zico now. Zico had a gap of between 1.5 and 2 seconds for quite a while. Owen set the fastest lap of the race at 13.1, and that is why he's all over the back of Zico.
It's just not close enough here, I'd say.
No, not yet.
But yeah, he seems to be catching up a lot.
And what's going on a little bit further down, Asseldor's actually lost a bit of ground on Pyro as well. And look at his tyres, they're pretty much 20% done on the front right already, so maybe this soft strategy isn't going to work out for Asseldor, because he really needs to get past Pyro and start going down the track a little bit quicker than he's managed to.
Deco might be able to make it work with 12 on medium and 6 on soft, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Deco's got the best chance. because his tires look
I'm
really
not
good
seeing
still.
Asador surviving till the end on these tires. It's possible, but he'll have a hard time at the last laps.
Yeah. He's got a really good exit from that final corner though. He's having a little look at Pyro, see if he can force Pyro into a bit of a mistake into turn 1. Doesn't quite work, but he should get a better exit here and finally be able to pull alongside Pyro. And he's going to have to do it around the outside. It's not advisable for this next corner. It doesn't often work hanging it around the outside.
Pyro went this defensive early, and that was definitely a good choice on his end.
Yeah, really solid defending there from Pyro, still keeping Asador behind. And this is good news for Deco, who's still catch up. Pyro really late on the exit there, massive understeer, and that's allowed Asador to get alongside again. Now Asador's going to try and hang it around the outside of this corner. They give each other enough room. Asador looks like he's finally got the position.
Great clean racing by both of them there.
Yeah, that was really good. Really difficult to do as well. Pyro's going to potentially have another look. It should come back to Pyro if you could just stick it out until the last couple of laps. His tyres will be in much better condition. So it's not the end of the world for Pyro getting overtaken here. As long as he doesn't get overtaken by Deco as well. Really wide on the exit for Pyro, he clatters the wall. This is going to be an easy overtake for Deco on the soft tyres as well. He says thank you very much. Pyro might be able to tuck into the slipstream and have a little go down into the chicane, but he's already quite far back, 3/10 down.
I think he'll just have to try and keep up now and hope their tires go off.
Yeah, that's all he can do, but that went from a potentially really good position for his team to actually make it through tonight, but dropping 2 positions in the space of a few corners there is a disaster, especially when they're on soft tyres, so they could defend a little bit better, and he's even if he's got a bit of a better exit, which it looks like he has now. Deco on the inside on the final corner. Pyro's still holding it around the outside. And are they going to make it through turn 1 as well? Yeah, Pyro just a little bit wide on entry and slides through the corner, loses a bit of traction, and Deco should now be able to get away. And Pyro might have to look behind him because Mr. Revenge is only 2.5 seconds back on him now. Let's see what's happening a bit
just
further up.
needs to keep up. Yeah, we need to see Owen is all over the back of Zico.
Yeah, this looks like
to find a way past.
Yeah, it looks like the best battle on the track at the moment. But Zico is the kind of driver who rarely makes any mistakes, so Owen's going to have to do it on merit if he wants to get this P2. Otherwise it might be Zico's team who does make it through. Where's Juho actually? Well, Juho's in P11, but we are on feature race points for this race, so he would still be contributing. I think that would be 5 points he'd be contributing compared to 22 for Zico. So that wouldn't be enough because Owen and Pyro are having a much better race compared to that.
The only thing I'm feeling sure of is Castro so far is making it through.
Absolutely. Yeah, JMS, I'm not sure where JMS is at the moment. He's down in 9th. So, yeah, that's still going to be some decent points. I think that's like 8 points or 9 points for P9. And Kellen's obviously going to be taking the maximum points, 25, to add to the 15 that he got in race 1. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that wraps up P1. But Kellen is only 4 seconds ahead of Zico. He still needs to put another 4 laps together and avoid getting caught. Kellen is currently lapping 14.1s compared to 13.4s for Zico, so 0.8 a lap slower, which actually should still be enough to be comfortable, as long as he doesn't start losing more time.
He's probably not just taking any risks out on front.
Yeah, I think so as well. Looking after everything, making sure you don't hit the walls. I mean, this has been incredibly impressive from Kellen, actually. When you think about the Monday League, Owen and Zico were the third and fourth best drivers last season, and Kellen has pretty comfortably beaten both of them. I know we're in different cars tonight, but it has looked like he is the alien of the night out of everybody.
He's definitely showed the most pace tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both races.
The gap's down to 3.2 now, and Zico's actually starting to drive away from Owen as well. See if there's any action going on a little bit further down. Asador is just a second ahead of Deco. Deco does have better tyres because he pit later. They're both 2 seconds ahead of Pyro, who's dropping Mr. Revenge, who's got a 3-second penalty as well. But then after that, there's a 31-second gap down to JMS, so he's had an absolutely terrible time. Lord Hans down in P10 having a terrible time, and Juho 19 seconds back from him. Actually not too far away from being lapped. Lapping in the 2:17s these last few laps though. So that's over 3 seconds slower.
Pyro will be pretty safe with that penalty on Mr. Revenge.
Yeah.
I think he must have gone through that chicane at the top on the mystery car with space where you can get a penalty.
Yeah, Owen's completely dropped off the back now. Maybe he's just consigned himself to defeat because he's not been able to close the gap on Zico. Zico's looking a lot more comfortable. Even though Owen's got the fastest lap, I don't think that lap will be beaten as well because the tyres have gone off a little bit too much. But yeah, he's dropped off a little bit from Zico. Even though his tyres are a little bit better still at this stage as well. Deco is much closer to Asseldor now. Let's have a little ride on board with him and see how he gets on uphill.
His front right doesn't seem very happy, and he's already done 3 laps on it, and these are 3 laps more.
Yeah, so pushing really hard probably. Asseldor's tyres, I'm not even sure if they're going to last the rest of the race. Look at them.
I don't think so. I think 6 laps would be a stretch for Tico, and Asseldor needs to do 7.
Yeah, I think he's got the strategy wrong here. Because he used a bit more tyre life to get past Pyro as well.
Yeah, he was caught up and trying to overtake him for a few laps there. Definitely used a bit more tyre.
So yeah, possibility of Deco taking P5, and potentially with this P5, he might not even be, Ineos might not even be the last place team tonight. We'll have to see what happens with everything else, but that's a really solid result for him.
I love that he's in here, taking points away from the competition just in case.
Of course. Racing for pride, that's what you have to do. And if you think Deco's in Tier 3, was the runner-up in Tier 3 last season. Everyone above him were competing pretty well in the tiers that they were in, the higher tiers, and he's only 8/10ths off of beating one of them. And obviously Pyro was in a higher tier than him last season as well, and he's 2.5 ahead of him. So yeah, really solid race for Deco.
If only he can make the tires last, it'll be very good.
Yeah, I think Deco will. Asseldor's, I think that final lap is going to be a disaster for him. I'm actually going to predict Asseldor's finishing this race in 8th. If he doesn't, if he finishes better than 8th, he's done really well on dead tyres.
Well, we did see Lord Hans struggle a lot with the dead tires.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on a little bit further up. Yeah, Owen's still over 2 seconds behind Zico. Zico's still lapping quicker than he has been, so he's still on fire at the moment. The gap's dropped to 2.7, but without a big mistake from Kellen up front, I think it's pretty much a done deal for Kellen winning the race. Although he was really wide there, just avoided hitting the wall on the exit. So that should help Zico down the straight. It doesn't, so Zico made a mistake there as well. Back to this little battle. Asador's, well, Deco's had a problem somewhere. Asador's now 2 seconds ahead of him.
Deco stars have dropped a lot.
Yeah, they really have. Well. They are still better than Asador's, but Pyro is now, he's halved the gap to Deco. So this is the part of the race where Pyro's tyres are finally coming good for him compared to the two ahead. So he could potentially still get P5. There's an outside shot here. He's not a million miles away. Deco hasn't managed to stick with Asador as well, so he started struggling on these tyres. The more that they wear, the more difficult it is to turn into these corners, which is why they lose the grip. And Pyro's now only a second behind Deco.
Yeah, I think Pyro has a grid chest on the mediums here.
Yeah, it was looking really great for Deco just a lap ago, and it's completely fallen off for him now. Really struggling in this stage. And this might be the difference between Asador in Tier 2 and Deco in Tier 3 as well. Asador able to still extract pace when the tyres are pretty much dead, which they are now on his car. But he's still got a 2.4 second gap ahead of Deco. Pyro still a second behind him as well.
Deco's put in a lot more fuel as well, so that hasn't helped him.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. I did notice that.
It right.
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention to his strategy, I guess. Really slow on the exit of that corner. It's because he takes it in third gear, which I'm pretty sure no one else has been doing. Which gives him better traction, but it does, especially when you're going uphill, penalise you a lot in terms of pace. And now Pyro's just at half a second back. This is the final lap.
How are Asador starts feeling?
Asador is just about to make it onto the back straight with some life left in his front right, but he's still got a few more corners after this to negotiate. He's made it around the corner. He's still 2.4 ahead of Deco. Pyro all over the back of Deco now. This is now or never for Pyro if he's going to get P6. As long as Asador can keep it on track, he's going to keep P5, but I think we're going to have to go and join Kellen, who is approaching the final corner. He has rounded the corner. It was quite a comfortable lead. The gap really reduced, but this surely is Castrol qualifying as the champions of the night with 2 wins out of 2. Zico getting P2, Owen P3, then we got P4. Well, looks like Pyro has got past Deco in the battle for P6, and Asador really struggling ahead, is only 2 seconds ahead of Pyro now, and Deco's actually chucked it in at the final corner, and Pyro's got the position in a drag race down to the finish. Pyro gets P6 behind Asador, and Deco gets P7. Revenge is gonna come into P8, so a lot of action on that final lap, as we expected, with the tyres going off and the different strategies. It worked out for Asador, and it didn't really work out for Deco there, who was ahead of both of them before they came into the pits. So, yeah, good strategy there for Asador to get P5 out of that after his mistake and his punt off track as well by Mr. Revenge in the opening laps. We've got JMS, who looks like he's going to be going into the finals with Kellen in Team Castrol, so that's going to be really solid for him. Again, not putting a sticker on his car. His driver number.
Asador definitely proved us wrong. He seems to have really nursed those stats, and very well done from him there.
Absolutely. Then we got Sparkle, that's Lord Hans, who is teammates with, I think it's Zico, is it? No.
It's Asador.
Asador, okay, so they aren't going to be going through tonight, unfortunately. Juho is Zico's teammate. We're gonna have to do the number crunching on this because he's finished last. Zico's finished P2 twice, so it might be enough. But yeah, we're gonna have to defer to Pyro on that one. All we know is that Castrol are definitely through, and as a result, they're gonna have the more favourable semi-final draw with the teams that they're in. What half are you in with your team?
Uh, I've been sorted into the more difficult semifinal,
Oh dear. Okay. So it's
so that will probably not be fun.
no. So you're potentially going to be against Sick Boy's team or Zico's team, I think. I'm not sure that Owen and Pyro have done enough because Pyro finished quite low in the previous race. We'll have to see, actually, because he did finish
Owen
two ahead of
definitely had a
Revenge.
Owen had a definitely good race on this one.
Yeah,
So he made a lot of position. Third place is good, but I'm just not sure if it'll be enough with the
yeah.
first race.
It's going to be incredibly close again because we've got the exact same top four. No, we don't. Asador was in the top four previously, wasn't he, in the previous race?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I think him and Sick Boy swapped
the
positions. So yeah, it's potentially between Zico's team and Owen's team actually, and Pyro might have done a little bit better out of the second drivers on that team. But yeah, he's gonna have to do the counting, and then yeah. So if you're watching and you want to know what the crack is, tag Pyro relentlessly in the chat until he tells you, because we can't do the maths. We haven't got our calculators.
he'll give us the numbers.
Exactly. Right. I think we should bring it to a close then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you'll be hearing more from us in the future. And yeah, we'll see about having the rest of the series live streamed if we can find some commentators. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.